I do not think AM talk radio will exist in America for much longer. Think about it. What is the one aspect of popular culture that conservatives control today? It's the one thing that conservatives control. Maybe the first thing that kind of pops to mind is maybe the church. I mean, that's not even true. And even the church, in many ways, is filled with a bunch of cowards leading them. And I don't even mean political issues, just even biblical issues. Church is filled with a bunch of cowards. But I wouldn't say that's a conservative bastion, the church even. Maybe the evangelical church to an extent, but that's not even true. So it's not the church. So the only thing that's left is AM talk radio. That's it. It's the only part of culture that conservatives control. So I think when Rush stops doing his show, and I say that because Rush makes a ton of money for a ton of people. So when he stops doing his show, I think the big media conglomerates will take that opportunity to deplatform. They'll put out this blowhardy statement. You can see it now. We've decided to stop spreading the hatred that's heard on public airwaves across the country. Blah blah blah. Blah. I know Jesse the other day sent a tweet out, said that conservatives are not long for Twitter. I don't think conservatives are long for talk radio either, which is another reason why I'm super grateful for the first here. Why do I see this coming? Well, it's everywhere, right? A silencing of everywhere. So why wouldn't they go for talk radio, right? But just the other day, they called them far right, but we'll say that for another day. 6 people on YouTube, or 6 YouTube channels were shut down. So David Duke of the Klan, Richard Spencer, who's this crazy white supremacist, and then Stefan Molyneux. I kind of vaguely know this guy. I clearly don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's kind of like a race guy. And then so 3 people, and then 3 groups. Like one of the groups is like American Renaissance or something, whatever. So they're taken off YouTube, totally, completely, permanently, forever, which they can legally do. YouTube's a private company. So that happened yesterday, 2 days ago. Reddit got rid of a thread called The Donald. They just shut that down. Twitch is an online gaming website. It's owned by Amazon. They suspended the president's stream the other day. Reddit wrote this blowhardy thing about they have a ban promoting hate based on identity or vulnerability. What is that? What is vulnerability? What are you talking about? Remember yesterday or 2 days ago, we shared the story of Jordan Peterson about a physics professor who was denied a grant. His paper was unpublished, and they had to apologize and everything because his statements violated the journal's policy on trustworthiness and social awareness. Like, what is that? What does that mean? You violated social awareness, or you had lack of social. What are you talking about? So same thing here. Oh, this promotes hate based on vulnerability. And then Twitch said hateful conduct's not allowed on Twitch. They took off the president's stream. So listen, this is they got you in a double bind here, all right? Because they put you in a position where you're supposed to support David Duke, right? But here's the problem. The umbrella of what's considered hate speech is so broad, it's literally anything that makes anyone uncomfortable. Remember the other day we talked about inclusion. That's what inclusion is in the woke newspeak. It's anything that makes anyone uncomfortable is excluded now. It's not allowed. And even your mere presence, if it makes someone uncomfortable, then you're not allowed. Hate speech is so broad, you have to come to the defense of anyone who's being denied access because of their speech. That's the problem. H.L. Mencken had a great quote. He said, the trouble with fighting for human freedom is that you spend most of your time defending scoundrels. For it's against scoundrels that oppressive laws are first aimed. And oppression must be stopped at the beginning if it's to be stopped at all, right? So if you come to David Duke's defense, you're defending David Duke. If you don't come to David Duke's defense, then it just feeds the beast, and then they keep going, and then it's you. Everything we do on this show is considered hate speech by the left. Every single thing we've ever said is considered hate speech. We had Hans Feeney on yesterday talking about the gospel. That was dripping with hate. If you want it to, if you're a progressive and you're looking for it. We talked about forgiveness and redemption and forgiveness yesterday with Hans Feeney. Redemption and forgiveness. Oh, the hate on Slater's show. True story. It's unbelievable. Got to shut that down. It's so hate-filled, right? Absolutely. People will make that argument. Every single thing you hear on the first is hate speech, if you want it to be. So if you got to defend everyone who's under that umbrella, Unfortunately, that's the double bind you're in. Eric Weinstein, he sent this tweet out. He said, I have been relentlessly critical of Molyneux, Stephen Molyneux or whatever. He frightens me. But if his worst views on race frighten me understandably, it is YouTube and the CEO of Google's corporate views on thought and expression which truly shake me to my core. It's not even close. So what's worse? These guys' racist views or corporate views on shutting down thought and expression? If you don't defend the scoundrels' right to say things, then the left will just go after Mount Rushmore. Did you hear that yesterday? They're going after Mount Rushmore, right? Calling that racist and violating tribal lands and whatever. And they're going to go after Mount Rushmore because they can't speak for itself, right? Mount Rushmore can't speak for itself, right? So they go after the scoundrels, they go after the statues, and then once the movement has sufficient momentum, you. Slater Crusaders, thanks for watching the first on YouTube. If you want more, like, subscribe. We got plenty.